All right, we're back. Here comes the part where I try and nut out how to do Vuex. So to teach this, I think I've been having a little bit of a think during my break. I think what I will do is just handle the lists and then maybe go a little bit deeper, but I'll see what it feels like. If it feels like too much information after doing the list section, then I'm going to stop there. Um, Yeah, actually, come to think of it, we're going to need a plus button here in the list, or like an add button at the bottom, maybe, to add a new list. Don't know what that's going to look like. Maybe just like a little plus button down here. So we need to at least start with that. So let's go main layout. And how about we come down here and have a plus button? It could be an item. Q dash item. What I reckon I'll do is when I do make this a component originally I will map some data because the fact that I'm just spitting everything out, is going to make it a little bit more work in order to implement this later on down the line. So maybe I'll add that in like my setups in here. Or is this is kind of more of a layout thing. I think I'll probably do that in my layout video. Oh, make sure it's opening with the right app. Open with, and let's say Typora. I wasn't very diligent at the beginning because I was just kind of like messing around with getting it all set up. Yeah, so in the layout section, I'll make sure that this is all mapped. So I'll put like a little point here. Make sure, in fact, let's just put all the code in. So we'll probably do it like this to begin with. Oh, let's come back here. Whack that over there maybe. Whoops. So to begin with, I think I'll just start with the first one. We've got a queue list. We've got the list title and then the items that come to about there. So when I'm first doing this, we just want that. It's a view file. Actually, and I should probably add in there the template part. So let's say template and whack that in. Can I press tab? Will that work? Oh, sweet, it works. What else? Now I need to close this tag off. The auto completion in this markdown tool is pretty amazing. So we're probably going to need a script tag here. And now we need to make sure that this is iterable. So let's come up here. And what have we got in a list? We've got the name of the list and the color of the list. If I open up Postman, I'm just going to open up Postman to check what I actually have in a list. And too many windows open. What can I cull here? We cull that. Need that. Oh, cool. Updated to a new version. Tremendous. Yeah, that's fine. So let's pull these lists in and find out what the API looks like for a list. Ah, crap, I need to create one first. Oh, a list belongs to a project. So I've actually gone one step further and organized things by project. All right, but a list does not have a color. That kind of sucks. I think we probably do want colors for lists, so maybe I'll change the API to make that available. Yes, all right, I'm going to do the hard work now. So let's sit into Quasar cast.com. There we go. Open that in code. And we've got the to-do API, and I'm going to have to create a migration for this. So let's come into our resources. Actually, no, not our resources. What am I doing? My brain's slowing down. App, models, and we got our to-do lists here. The other thing I need to, so first I need to add the color in for the to-do list. It's going to have a color and an icon, and that number we'll be able to pull in, so that you don't have to worry about that. So color and icon. So how about we say, let's close this app. Just focus on the other one for now. CD into to-do dash API. And are we migrated? Yep, we're already migrated. So now I want to say art, make migration, and we'll say add color and what was the other one? Crap, I'm blanking on it now. Icon. Color and icon columns to, what's the name of this table? To-do list table. All right, so we can jump in there now. We can say table color. Oh, color is going to be a string. And do I want this to be nullable? Yeah, you can probably make it so there's no color. And the other one was the icon. Icon. And I think I can set a max character here, so maybe we would actually set that. I mean, you're not going to need more than 10 characters for a color, are you? Oh, you might, like if you got a HSV, so how about we say 20? Doesn't have to be perfect. Probably 20 for an icon. Some of those icons have pretty long character names. In fact, I'm going to go up to 25 just to be sure. They can both be nullable. You don't need a color and you don't need an icon, but we'll probably have that in the UI so that you can add it in. And down, we're just going to drop those. So table, drop, column, can I say columns plural? And then we're just going to drop color and icon. Get rid of all that. Let's migrate, see if that works. Whoops. Art, migrate, roll back. Drop columns. Okay, drop columns does not exist. It's probably just drop column, but then you pass it multiple. So let's try that. All right, looks like that's working. All right, so we've got those now. To do list, let's go into the factory and make sure we're generating this properly. Label, we'll also want color and icon. And I might say this, can I say fake choose? Is there one for like just choosing from an array? Or like pick? I don't know. Random. I just basically want a random thing from an array. Random element. And then I can pass through an array. So this might be what I need. We can say, for example, red, orange. Let's maybe say blue, -4, green, -5. Just some random colors here that we can play around with. Brown, -6. And, oops, that's supposed to be for the color. So let's say color here. Whack that up there, make this one the icon. And actually, this is going to be very similar code, but we're going to choose an icon this time. And these are going to be different bookmarks. And I'm going to convert to MDI later on. So let's say like MDI dash bookmark. I'm going to open up the MDI list. I have a hotkey for that because I open it all the time. I always use this for my material design icons. How about we just say fish, shopping, and I don't know, hammer. Fish, shopping, hammer. So book, MDI, fish, MDI, shopping, MDI, hammer. For my fake data, so let's say art, tinker, and how about we say to-do list, factory, and we'll create one of those. And there we go. We've got a color, we've got an icon. If we exit that, tinker again, to do list or, but then let's just pluck off the last one. And there we go. That's got the same color. We go brown 6. And is it hammer icon? Yep. All right, so it looks like that's working now. I want to make sure that that works with the API as well. So let's come in here and change that to test for create and see if that works. All right, so let me think of why that might not be working. I probably don't have Nginx running. Service start. I don't know if I do or not, so let's try that. Okay, so that's working. We've got a label and we've got a color and we've got an icon. I assume they're going to work, but let's just check just in case. Color, icon, and let's say blue-7, and then we'll say MDI dash, oh, I don't know. What do we have? Like hammer was an example. So let's try that. There we go. Looks like that's working. And now just to double check, let's fetch from that. Yep. Cool. All right, that's all working fine. So let's push those changes. Git status. See if I've changed anything else. Dot git commit message. Added icon and color to do underscore lists. And let's push that. And that'll go live in a second because I've got all my automation set up and all that jazz. And now we can continue developing with our other app. So I'll jump out of there. I'll jump back into, what was it? The Getting Started Guide. I think it would have been called Quasar Getting Started Guide. Quasar. Yep, there we go. Now we can jump back in here. And that server should work with those new settings now. We might have to go back and add, things in and out of that server at some point, but that's why I wanted to create my own so that I had that kind of flexibility. So that's kind of cool. So now say Quasar dev here. By the way, I'm going to go to quasar.conf. Where's our dev server? I want to make it so it doesn't open by default. Open false. There we go. Shut this down, run it again. Because I'd rather just control click the URL. I hate it when it automatically opens and I'm in the middle of something when my server's getting started up. So yeah, that setting annoys the crap out of me. So I'll set that back to false. What else are we going to do? So now I wanted to actually try doing this. And look, I actually don't have a lot of experience with Vuex because most of my Vuex experience is using Vuex ORM, which is a tool that uses Vuex behind the scenes, makes that running that code easier. But now I'm going to have to learn it because it is a thing that you do with Quasar if you're not using something like Vuex ORM. So let's say Quasar new store, and we'll call this to-do list. And maybe to-do list store. Might add that in just to be a bit more clear. And now we need to make sure that we reference it here. Modules, change that from example to to-do list store. And now let's import it here. We should follow what they're doing there. So they're doing a dash there. So that means that I should be doing a dash as well. To-do list store. Okay, that's sitting in a folder. So we can come in here, delete that. And I'll generate it again. We'll do it like this. It's time to do dash list dash store. Okay, so now instead of module dash, oh, see, then they've got the word module prefixing it. Blah! All right, let's do that as well. Really want to make sure I'm doing things the Quasar way. All right, so we can basically change all occurrences of example now. If I undo everything, we can just change all those occurrences to do dash list dash store. However, it won't work for this. This will have to be to do. Wait, how did they do it? Example, module example. Okay, so then they just do it something like this. To do list store. But they're not using the word store afterwards. So I need to do this once again, one more time. Oh, gosh. To do list. All right. And then I'm just going to go here to do list. And we'll import that from module dash to do dash list. And now I think I'm doing that more the sort of Quasar way of doing it. Cool. Now I want to check that that's actually sitting in the store. Oh, where's Vue? Ah, bugger. I need to change my extensions to use the new version of Vue. Does that work? We haven't changed yet. We're waiting for the stable version. So it's not that DevTools, it is the beta DevTools that we are using now. So let's go ahead and refresh this page and see if we get that now. I might even have to get out of my browser and get back into it again. Yeah, all right, let's try that. Cross our fingers and hopefully it works. Oh, bugger, but I got YouTube open. Okay, one sec. Get back into that, get back into everything. And now I can whack this over here. And we can jump back into that server. Here it is here. All right. And there we go. We've got Vue now. So we'll tap into that. And if I go to... Oh, everything's a bit different now. Can I get into the store? Oh, maybe I can't. So that must be the... All right, I might not be able to access the store now. Global settings. You might have to install it as a plugin with the new Vue. I don't really understand how all of this works yet. They got the router plugin, but they don't have anything for the store. Ah, bugger. All right. It just means it's going to be slightly harder to test, and I'd really like to be able to show people as I develop this how to do it. Just go to settings, editable props. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything related to the store. Oh well, that's the way it is. So let's come back here. I'm just going to assume that that's working, and now I can start doing my actions, getters, mutators, and all that stuff. All that not so fun stuff. So I guess the place I'll start is with the state. And we'll return here an object, and then I guess entities. And then let's have an example one to begin with. So let's say to do list. Really, this would be more label. And I want to follow the API that I'm using. And now I've got to remember what that API is. That's all right. We can jump into Postman again and have a look at that. Whew. This is going to be cool, though. This is going to be really cool. I'm actually so excited to see how this works out. So we got the ID. I won't need the project ID. Label, color, and icon. So let's go ahead and run that in there. And now I'm going to have to handle all of the ID stuff myself, which I'm not used to doing. I'm used to, using other tools behind the scenes. Whew. But anyway, so we're using it there. Hang on, if I save this, it's not doing anything on my server. Maybe I need to run it again now that I've added a store. Maybe, but I think by default, it basically checks if the store is there, and if it's not, it doesn't do anything with it. Otherwise, it will automatically use it. So if I save this now, yeah, okay, that's working. Cool. So ID, I'm gonna need like something that generates a unique ID. So maybe view generate ID. I think it's got something on it. Auto generating IDs. JavaScript random string maybe. It doesn't need to be perfect. I don't know. By default, actually, by default, it's just going to be null, I think. This is just example data I'm starting with. So, okay, this is just going to be example data. So let's set that to 1 to begin with. We'll set the label equal to, I don't know, shopping, the color equal to blue, and then we'll give it an icon. So maybe that could be like MDI. What's a good shopping one? Shopping. What's that? It's literally MDI shopping, so that's perfect. Save that. All right, so that's what the state will be to begin with. That's already been mapped for us by default, and it's being namespaced. That's exactly what we want as well. So I should run them through what that means, though, shouldn't I? Namespaced. Oh, I don't know. How deep do you go on this stuff? I don't know. All right, so let's go to mutations. I'll think about that in a second. And we'll call this create to do. And then we can say state dot to do dot entities. I think state is automatically going to be scoped anyway to our current module. And we're also going to want a payload here that we'll accept. And I think I can then just say state dot entities dot push, I think, with view 3. That's all going to work fine. Anyway, I'll test that in a second. So that's a mutation. And then we want to get it here. Once again, luckily, we've got a really nice example. And we'll call this, I don't know, really, you'd probably just call this get, right? Get to do's. Or just get, it's already namespace, so maybe get to do's is overkill. And same here, instead of create to do. And then we're not creating a to do, actually, we're creating a list. So we'll just call that create. We'll call this get. And then return. By the way, if I'm doing something terrible here, just let me know. State dot to do lists. Oh no, state dot entities. State dot. Is that what I would call it? Get? Yeah, I think so. And then for my actions, I can use the word fetch, I guess. And I don't know if they still do this, but I remember they used to have like, in Vuex, they used to have like, all caps case or something. So let's just have a look in here and how they do it. Maybe under like actions, some action. All right, so they're using, what do you call that? Camel case or whatever. And then what about mutation? Mutating state. Looks like it's the same. So they might not do that anymore. I remember they used to do like all caps with underscores, but it looks like that's not the pattern anymore. It's probably the same with getters, setters, and actions. Anyway, whatever. Let's come back here. And so we'll call this fetch. And I think what I'll do is I'll say, now we can actually use Axios. So actually, let's console.log context here. I'm a little bit slow with this stuff because it is pretty, like I said, it's not something I'm super familiar with because I use Vuex ORM. I'm not used to writing a lot of Vuex code myself. So let me know if I'm doing anything bizarre here. Create. Where's the create button? No, it's not there. It's in index.view. Okay. So instead, this should be calling an action, and there's a way that we can map actions. Oh man, I hate all this stuff. It's just it's too much. So maybe store. Here we go. They've got their own docs for Vuex, so I might just go through their docs here. Adding a module. All right, they don't actually show you there, so I'll have to go back to the Vuex docs. No, not Vuex ORM. Just Vuex. And what do I want to do here again? Gosh, my brain's fizzing out. That's right. I want to be able to map getters, mutations, and all of that. And I want to remember how to do it with a module. Modules, map. I think there's a better way though. Okay, so you get the first argument is going to be the thing, the name of the module. What's this? Create namespace helpers. Oh, that's kind of cool. Alright, so we want map state, map getters, and map actions. We probably actually only want map actions and map getters in this scenario. So let's come up here and say, import map, probably not map state, map, getters, and then just map actions from Vuex. And now I come down here to computed. We actually don't need this anymore. We're getting rid of that. And we're going to say map getters. And this is a function that's going to call our module, which I believe is called to do, what did I call it? Module to do list. But I think we ended up calling it like to do list like that. And then we want get. So I think that's going to give me to do list get, if I'm correct. What's wrong with that? How have I used this wrong? Computed, map getters, you pass it in. Oh, okay, I did that as an object. This should be an array. Oh, actually, no. Let's keep it as an object, so then we can name it something different. And I can call this, I can say, to do lists will be equal to get there. Whew, all right, doing my best. Methods, and then we'll come in here and we'll do something very similar for actions. Map. Actions. And I'll call this, what do we call it in our actions? We've only got fetch for now, but actually that should remain the same. And we'll call this fetch to do lists, and we call that fetch. Man, I need to think of a way to explain this really well. And so now when this is mounted, let's see if I can say this dot fetch to do list. And now refresh that. Okay, and it looks like that's working. Cool. And now the to-do list should be being pulled from our getters. Oh man, I do not know how I'm going to make this simple for people to understand. All right, so let's say to-do list. So I can come up here now and say to-do list for each. Where's our list? That's in main. Oh man, so I'm in the wrong, did this in the wrong directory. Let's cut that, get rid of that, and get rid of that now. All right, so I'm gonna go to main layout. And we're going to import map getters. And we're going to import that from Vuex. Now we're looking for computed. Oh, bugger, I'm using the comp API here. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't use the comp API here then. I'm actually the wrong documentation anyway. Oh, I can't use both. Oh no, this is not good. I can't teach people using the options API and then switch to the composition API. That's just a really, really bad experience. So I'm going to have to remove setup there and basically convert this to the options API and just let people know they can do it the composition API way if they would like. So how about we say data, I have to go ahead and just get this done. And anything basically that is a reference. That's computed. So let's start with left drawer open, which will be equal to false by default. So now we can get all of the left drawer open stuff. Toggle left drawer is going to have to be a method. So let's say methods. And now this toggle left drawer is one of those methods. I'll get rid of that for now, and I will get rid of that for now. Left drawer width. So this is going to be a computed property. So let's grab that part there, which is the function part. Computed. And then we can say here left drawer width. And I can whack that in there. So we don't need any of that now. Left drawer width map. So I guess that can sit on the data property. So I'll cut that and throw that on the data property. Change that from an equals. And I won't need to use Quasar anymore. Cool. So we got rid of the comp API there so that more people can understand this. And then this, a lot of these I'm going to have to say this dot, and this dot. Okay, let's see if the whole thing works and doesn't blow up. Nice. Okay, we've converted that to the options API, and I think what we'll do is we'll do everything in the options API. Then towards the end of the series, convert things to the composition API, so that people are actually getting exposed to it. Maybe like around here. Yeah, around here. Animations. I might do before all of that. Convert to composition API. That's a tough call to make. And I suppose this is why people have problems with the composition API, because now you can do both. It's very hard to do tutorial series when you've got both available. But hey, I'll live. All right, so let's get back to what I was doing before with getters. So let's see if I remember the code for this. Import map getters from Vuex. And now under computed, I should be able to say map getters. And then I'm going to pass through to do list so that it knows the namespace. And then I need to pass through to do lists, which is going to map to get, because I think that's what I called it in the getters. Yeah, I just called it get. So now to-do list should give me a list of all of the to-do lists. And we can actually test if that works now by going to our first to-do list item. Where is it? Queue list. There's an item in our to-do list. So we can say v-4 is equal to to-do list in to-do lists. And then we can say the key is equal to-do list dot ID. Wonderful. So that is going to change in a moment, though. I'll change the color for that in a moment. Let's just see if we can get these get it iterating through all of these. That's a list item. Let's get rid of all of the other items here. I don't know if I want to get rid of all this yet, actually. I want to keep some of that code for when I'm doing the UI to show this is like a section on the side. Yep. Okay, let's do this properly. I already did there. Yep. Okay, so I've already got all that code. That's fine. So I can delete all of these safely. Delete. And understand a lot of this is just talking out loud. I am just trying to sort of get my bearings of how to do this. Okay, so people, let's see if we can change that to to-do list and then people, or to-do list dot label. Why would that not work? To-do list in to-do list, so I should currently have one here. No, that's for the list title. I've put this in the wrong spot. So let's cut that, and let's actually throw it down here. Now we should be able to say to-do list dot label. So it looks like that might be working. Let's go to store/index. There's our to-do list, and we want to look at the state. The best way to do that is probably to actually say to-do list dot /state, like that. Yeah, here we go. So it's called, oh, it's at the top now. How did that happen? That makes no sense. Oh, weird. All right, something weird that happened there, because then I flipped it and it switched. So, yep, it says shopping. The color should be blue, and the icon should be MDI shopping. So now let's actually implement all of that. The color is here. We're going to change that to to-do list.color. There we go, that changed. The name of it is going to be to-do list.icon. That did not work. Probably because we're not using the MDI icon set. And honestly, maybe I shouldn't, because we're going to switch to it later on. Oh, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. I'm going to teach icon sets earlier on in the series, just so I can get to MDI icons as soon as possible, because I use them everywhere. So let's look for the part where I talk about icons. Oh, looks like I haven't even got that in here. We've got layouts. Maybe after layouts, I'll say like icon library. Go to MDI icon library. Cool. So let's come back in here and then say quasar.conf and then open our icon set and change it from material design icons to MDI. And where else have I got it? MDI v. Okay, it's actually called MDI version 5. And let's change that to MDI version 5 as well. Cool. Now, once that refreshes, yeah, now we get the icon in there. All right, that's really cool. So that means that the API for to-do lists, like for those objects, is going to line up with everything else. Oh, now I need to fix all of these. Should I do that now? Yep, let's just get it done. Find in folder, let's look for the word icon, and wherever we've got it, we'll change it to the MDI version. MDI menu. Yep, that's fixed. Logout button. MDI-logout. Save that. That's working. What else have we got? Not that one. Let's change that to MDI-search. It might be like magnify. Yep, there we go. More vert. What's that? That's like pointing to the top right, I think. Let's say like arrow. No, I don't know. I'm going to have to look that one up. Let's look up arrow. Or maybe more. It looks like it was a more button. Oh, that's right. It's those dots. It's like when you've got those 3 dots. So maybe I can put in here dots. Yeah, here we go. Dots vertical. That's the one I was looking for. So now we come back over here. Change it to, yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted. What else? Okay, we've also got the create button, which I believe is sitting on, oh no, it's sitting here on index.view. Oh, I'm right on top of it. No, I'm not. Here it is here. Let's try MDI add, but I think it's MDI plus. Yeah, let's change that to plus. See if that works. Cool. All right, so I've changed all those icons now. Content is awesome. Wow, 3:37 in Brazil. Whoa. That is an early time to be up. What next? Oh, I'm getting tired and it's like the middle of the day over here. Probably because I've been eating muffins today. Not a good diet. I usually eat healthy, but today was definitely not one of those days. Okay, now that I've fixed that up, let's go back to what we were actually talking about originally, and that was our getters. So the getters is working. Now we want to put the mutation onto the create button. So maybe the first thing I will do is we'll create. Let me just open this up. And let's say the store, or maybe we'll even call that viewx, and then parentheses store. So we'll jump into there, open up that markdown, and we'll say viewx and then parentheses store. All right. So what I want to do is just get a bit of clarity over what's happening and when. The first thing I want to do is create a new module. Create new module, restart the server. And then we will go straight to just getters. Use getter use how about we say make getter lists in left menu. There we go. And then how about make I need to make sure that we have a create button to create a new list, but I want to do that early on. So let's just go ahead and do that now. Let's say list. No, it's not list. It's main layout.view. And then we're going to have another section under here. Q item, Q dash item dash section. And then maybe we can have a Q dash button in there. And then this one is going to have an icon of MDI dash, I think it's plus. Yeah, that's exactly what I want, except not exactly what I want because it needs to be flattened and other things. So let's make that flat. Should I make them more compact? It feels a little bit too large. Or should creating a new list be up here? Be a little icon up there. I don't know. Todoist. Let's have a look at what they do. I'm totally flogging some of their design. Yeah, so they've got like projects and lists and projects, and we'll implement a similar thing to that. So they got a little plus sign on the side for their project. So how about we just do that for our to-do list? A little plus sign over here. I think that'll look good. However, I think that this also should not be clickable. The part that says lists. Yeah, that's not clickable. There we go. That makes more sense. And then we got an item section. And then we'll say Q-item-section. And this is... What? That didn't work. Oh, worked that time. And then we'll say here side to say that it's on the side. And then we'll say Q-button. And then when you click on that button, it's then going to open up the thing to create a new list. Now, I think I want that button to be dense. So we're going to make it a bit... so it fits in there a bit nicer. Icon is equal to MDI dash plus. Let's have a look at that. Cool. Let's flatten it. Yep. That's pretty much it. I like it there rather than having it at the bottom over here. So let's get rid of this one. And then this is going to be a dialog button. So when you click on that, we'll get the dialog. So I might change that to a B dialog button. So that cool component that we created before, steal all of that, whack it in there. Nice. Now we get a dialog when we click on that. Let's throw this over here. And what else? So now that that dialog button can open up, we want something in there. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll say Q-card-section. And I'll just say test in there. Yeah, okay. And then when you click on, when you put something in there and add it, it'll then like add to the list. Ah, bugger. So before I cover this, I really am going to have to talk about, have I made this getting started app too complicated? That's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm worried about. How can I make this easier? Because like this should be its own component, but how far do I want to go with component, creating your own components? You know what? It's something they need to learn and they're going to be doing over and over and over and over again. So I think it's totally acceptable to expect them to have to make their own components. So how about this? Let's say Quasar new component. And it means that the user is a bit more focused as well, or the person watching it. And we will call this create list button. I think that's a good name for this component. Yep, cool. So let's cut that. We'll say create list button. And then I'll come down here and I will import create list button from components / create list button. There it is there. Before I use that, let's go ahead and jump into there and paste that. Except for that, all of those props are going to be v-binded, v-bind adders. And now I should be able to use this by saying components, whack it in there, and save that. Cool. And then all of those attributes should actually sit on here. I like to save my styling until the last minute. And so now we can say the icon is equal to MDI -plus. That should work. We'll make it dense, and then we'll make it flat. So re-implement all of that. Yep, cool. That's all working. And now we can put all of that logic inside of this button instead, which makes a lot more sense. Okay, I like this. Can probably throw that into one line now. Let's say q-input, and we'll say v-model the list label, like the list name maybe. List. We'll say form.label. I think I call it label on the back end. So we got our setup here. Once again, I think we're going to use the options API. Unfortunately, that's the way it's going to be. So let's say data here and then return an object. And we'll say form. And it's going to have a label equal to null by default. Let's go ahead and try that. Yep, there we go. And we'll say q-toolbar here. And how about q-toolbar -text, I think it is. No, I think it's title. Let's try that. Yep, and then I usually have like a close button. So q-button icon is equal to, once again, this is overkill. No, it's too much for, we need to be focusing on. No, it's not too much because this is going to be done earlier on in the series, and then when we're actually implementing the Vuex store, this will all be ready for us to go. Okay, so now let's say MDI-close, and let's make that flat, and let's make that round as well. Cool. And now what I can do is make this a reference to dialog button. I think we got this like v-close-overlay or something. What is it? Directives. Yeah, one of the ones Quasar comes with. Oh, here we go. We got a directive section. Close pop-up. That's what I want. Okay, so let's go into quasar.conf. We're going to have another one here called close pop-up. There it is. Yeah. v-close-pop-up. All right, so I should be now able to just say that, and I think it might work. Yeah, sweet. Nice. Okay, so let's fully do this form now. So it's going to have a label equal to title. So for the title of this list, create list. What else does the list have? It's got a color. So I can probably come in here and just say like Q dash, I think it's called color. What does that do? Wow, that's pretty cool. Do we have any other color pickers? Like something that's more basic? Color. How about Q color? We've got the color picker. What's a good way to do this? Maybe like a button toggle and they all have different colors. That might actually make more sense, funnily enough. Yeah, okay, let's go with that. Kind of a weird way to use Quasar though. I feel like I should be doing it like in the sort of Quasar way. Let's go form components. Any of these color related. No, I feel like all we've got is that color picker. But what I actually want is to have the color picker just choose from different preset colors. I'll show you what I mean. So maybe we'll say Q dash button dash group. And the options here. Actually, I need to come down here and actually see how to use it. I'm pretty sure it's quite simple. Okay, it's not in there. Yeah, so then we just got the options like that. But I want them all to have their own color, so I think I can do that. So let's try it and see what happens. And then we'll say v-model is equal to form.color. And then we'll jump into form and we'll give it a color equal to null by default. Hello, Emmanuel. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Quasar time. I'd have to refresh that. All right. Strangely enough, I'm not getting anything in there. Q button group. Okay, it's not button group, it's button toggle. All right, so let's just change that to toggle. Come back in here. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Okay, now we just need to give these different colors. So let's see if we can give them different colors first of all. How about a color equal to green? Okay, so that'll set its. I want to change its default color though. So maybe you can come here and say color is equal to white. Yeah, I think that is correct. We might just have to refresh the page. Nope, they're all coming out green. All right, so that's the selected color. Let's take a look at what we've got in the options because we might be able to change the selected color. Maybe like select. Icon, value, slot, props. Oh, okay. Maybe it's not going to be so easy to do it this way. I kind of just want to change the way selected looks. See if there's any examples that do that. All right, so this might not be the option that we need. In fact, maybe a Q toggle. Q toggle. Oh no, like a Q options. Yeah, let's try that. Let's try Q options option group, and we'll set the type equal to toggle. Not toggle. Sorry. Radio, which implies you can select one at a time. Yep, and now we'll give them all different colors there. So color like green, orange, blue, something like that. Nice, and these will be the same. So it'll be like green, orange, blue. Let's just paste these down for the value. I mean, it doesn't have to be the perfect example. It has to be the simplest example. I really do think I want the text color though to be a different color. So maybe let's see if we've got text color on that. My guess would be no. Okay, so let's look up Q radio. And let's see what kind of styling we've got over this. Yeah, okay, so we want to change the color of that sort of circle area. Is that keep color? Maybe keep color is going to do that. Keep color, and let's set that to true and see what happens. That's exactly what we want. Tremendous. Now we can come in here and actually know what those colors are before we click on them. Green, orange, blue. Yep, okay. We can add a couple more colors. So green, orange, blue, purple, something else, something else. Purple. Maybe like brown. And everybody likes to have a gray. Yep, not perfect, but I think it will be okay. I'd much rather have like a few tabs of colors that you can choose, but yeah, no, you know what? I think this will be fine. So maybe we whittle that down to just 3 colors so that the video ends up going faster. So green, blue, purple, they're all nice colors. Maybe just like a red, which is a high priority. Green, blue, red. Cool. All right, so all we need now is a title for that. And let's just say a div color. Cool, I might even wrap the whole thing in a card. Q-card. And then I have to put in a section as well. Q-card-section. Yeah, okay, that looks good. Can I flatten this? Bordered. So make it bordered and flat. Yeah, okay, that looks good. Now let's say class is equal to Q-margin top, medium, and then all the way down we'll add margin tops. And by the way, I usually like these to be filled, so let's try that as well. Yep, title, color. We're going to have an icon picker as well, so maybe I'll move up when we do the icon picker. I don't know. Yeah, no, we might do the icon picker a little bit earlier in the series because I think that'll get people excited. So how about we say in here, so Q dash card. How about we say, um, Quasar icon picker. I don't know if we have a next branch for this though. I'll have to go back. Let's, whoops. Hopefully we've got a next branch for the icon picker. This is freaking awesome, by the way, if no one's seen this plugin. Let's have a look at the demo. Yeah, really, really awesome. And I can say MDI icons. So I'm going to have a whole list of them. I don't know if I can search them though. Oh, there we go. I can. Just awesome. I might even create my own Quasar extension that allows me to just have a look at all the icons so I don't have to constantly open up this page, which is a nightmare to look through sometimes. So yeah, that'd be really cool. All right, so Q icon picker. Let's go ahead and look at how we install that and get that going. But first, I'm going to go into our list. Things to do, layouts. Oh, I already added it there to an earlier thing to do anyway. So let's say, oh, I actually didn't check if they got a next branch. Tags. Let's see if we've got any that support. I could just go into app extension and find out this way. Source index.js. Yeah. All right. Looks like it is compatible with the new version of Quasar. Oh no, wait, Quasar. Oh man, I always get this confused. Yeah, this is Quasar version 2. I don't think it is then compatible. It's compatible with the Quasar app 2, but not Quasar version 2. All right, so what's this? Wait, that's 1.15. Man, maybe that does mean Quasar app. Man, now I'm confusing myself. Okay, that is just normal Quasar. That's Quasar app there. So it should be normal Quasar version 2, and it is not, so it is not supported. Bugger. But that's the dev branch. Yeah, alright. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to use this extension anyway. Oh, that sucks. Anyway, I need to chill for a little bit. I'm getting a bit tired, but what I might do, just as kind of a workaround to this, is having like you choose the color, and then I'll give you a list of icons that you can pick, and then maybe you could like have a Q toggle for that. I don't know, but we might have to like deck the create list out a little bit so that it fits with the API. And what we'll build at the end of it is really cool, so that'd be good. Like I think I'd rather people get to build something really cool from the beginning rather than, I don't know, like I'd rather we work a little bit harder but build something awesome than just try and dumb things down for everyone. So I think that's what I'll end up with. But yeah, so that's the colors. I might just quickly go ahead and do the icons before finishing this up. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to use the icon picker because it may not be released in time. So let's say icon. So instead of Q option group, let's say Q button group. Let's see what I get out of the box with that. It wouldn't be button though, it would be BTN. Be shortened. Let's try that. Alright, we're not getting any buttons, so let's come over here and we'll go to the API section of the docs. Say Q button. It won't be group, it will be toggle. So we'll go to Q button toggle. And what's this going to look like? All right, so then we've got options, label, value. So that's all pretty much the same. So why wasn't it working? Well, let's change it from form.color to form.icon. We can get rid of the types part here, and then we can add icon on. Maybe you have to just refresh. Nope, something's not working. Oh, cool, they've added this docs button. That's super cool. And let's just have a look at an example. Label and value we need. We've got label and value. We're modeling something. Oh, maybe it's because I set the color to white there. I don't know. Am I using the component properly? Oh, it's Q button toggle. Bet you that's the problem. Yep. There we go. So we can select the icon now. So what I'll do is I'll get rid of all of these that say color. I missed that one. Oh, instead of getting rid of them, let's just reuse that space and say icon. And this one could be like MDI dash shopping. And we'll just add like a bunch in that way. And they're not going to have a label. So none of these will have a label. What have I done? What have I done? There we go. Cool. Let's go back in there. And now we just need to set all these labels. And maybe a little bit of a margin here. Class is equal to Q dash margin top. We'll make that small. Yep, that's good. And I might make this outlined. That probably looks a little bit better. And we'll just have a few icons there that you can select. So we've got shopping. We've got MDI dash, I don't know, hammer. I'm just going to whack some out here. MDI dash, I don't know. It's like a work one. MDI dash list. Which extension reorders? Oh, so I'm using my linter for that. So if you go to the Quasar docs, they show you how to set this up properly. I know it can be quite a bit overwhelming in the docs sometimes because there is quite a few things that you can do there. Yeah, I had trouble getting it work as well, but it was awesome once I got it going. First of all, I don't use Prettier. So if you're using Prettier, I'm not sure I can help, at least right now. But I think it's in the getting started guide, VS Code configuration maybe. Yeah, here we go. If you go to the VS Code configuration at the end of the getting started guide, I think, yeah, I followed this section here, Prettier ESLint rules. And basically I had to put that into my VS Code config. And that was it, actually. put that into my VS Code config, but I went one step further. By default, ESLint doesn't do much with Quasar because they don't want to enforce too many opinions on you. But if you go to your eslint.js file, instead of using Vue 3 Essentials, I actually use Vue 3 Recommended. And that offers a whole lot of extra linting over the top. So by enabling this part here, rather than just Essentials, that's why I'm able to have that on one line, save it, and it automatically changes to multiple lines there. So yeah, hopefully that helps. It was a little bit weird for me to set up. I ended up not using Prettier. I just don't find it helpful for my flow. I understand that it's good for people with larger teams, but I just never need any of the Prettier stuff. I've never felt like I've needed it. So yeah, I just use ESLint and I love it. Anywho, I've almost finished here. How about we say like, all right, this bullet list thing seems perfect. And people can kind of like choose their own when they're watching the series. There we go. So they can choose a color, set a title for the list, set an icon for the list. Let's go back into the state.js. Now we've got color, icon, we're covering the label. So that is everything done. That should be a form that's ready to go. And I always like to just quickly check my forms. And you can do that by just adding in a pre-tag. Whoops, let's just whack it straight in the pre-tag. And then I'll just throw into that pre-tag form. So that's going to spit out my form so I can see it as I build it up. See, the color is set to red by default. And then we can just change it like this. My list. And then we can select an icon. Oh, those icons haven't been aligned properly. How about we set the color of it? How about this? Why don't we say color is equal to form.color so we can see what that icon will look like with the color. And then we can change the value equal to whatever the icon is. Let's refresh that. Why didn't that change the color? Yeah, that worked. Very cool. So the icon changes. Oh, so that's going to set the color on all of them. That's not what I want. What I actually want is the color here. Hang on. Let's go color is equal to whatever the color is. In fact, we can go one step further and just go like that. Oh, apparently I can't. Oh, it's got to be form.color. My bad. Form.color. And now we should be able to get rid of this. And it should still give us that nice sort of changing color effect when I select different ones. Yep, that's exactly what I want. Now if I go green, still doing it. So, okay, so I want to change the select color. I think that's what I want to do. Let's look this up. Q button toggle. And style. Here we go, toggle color. That's what I actually wanted. So now let's come in here and say color is equal to, toggle color is equal to whatever I have set to form.color. Otherwise, we might just make it like gray-9. And then all of this I can get rid of. See if that works. Let's cross our little fingers. What did I do wrong there? Oh, missing a little quote. Weird. All right, let's refresh it and see if it works. Yeah, there we go. Very good. Now, what I'm going to do is set a minimum width on this dialog, or probably a maximum width would make more sense. And then tell it to be full width. So I think you can do stuff like, let me just go into the dialog button. No, I'll do it on the card actually. Cue card section. How about we say on here, style is equal to max dash width, maybe like 500 pixels, and then width 100%. Is that going to work? No, okay, because we're going to have to set the width on the inner card of the dialog. You know what? I think it's overkill anyway. Once again, I don't want to get carried away with too much styling here because it's just going to be a starter series. And let's come down here and get rid of that pre-tag. Also, I don't like the red. It's too harsh. Let's change it to red dash, maybe like 4. Just got to soften that red a little bit. Yeah, there we go. It's not as intense now. We might actually do the same with these other colors. Dash 4, green, dash 4. Let's try that. Yeah, just a nicer style. I like that. And the title, all right, I think that all looks good. And then what I'll do is make it so that when you press the create button, which we do not have yet, then I imagine having like a Q dash button, which will have a label equal to create. And I always do that at the bottom outside of the cue card section and make it full width, kind of like this. And then give it like a color equal to primary. Nice. I think this is a really nice looking dialogue. You can see, that's your title, that's your color, that's your icon. And then this beautiful create button down the bottom. What happens if I flatten that? What does that look like? Oh, it's not obvious enough then. Yep. All right, so we're getting there with the UI. And the idea is like I want to get the UI looking really good so that they learn how to use Quasar, all of the components, because that's the really fun part of Quasar, at least in my opinion. And then later on, we'll hook it up to the API. So I'm just going to leave it at that for now. Thanks so much for watching. Might work a little bit more on this later on. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do much stuff with the store today, but that's because other stuff took our attention. So we'll get to that later on. So thanks for watching, everyone.